Everybody can see my command account. Yes. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that we have our Facebook accounts linked to our command. Now, when we run Facebook ads in command, it'll also allow us to run Instagram ads. Know that these are not, you don't necessarily need an Instagram page to run Instagram ads, but your ads will also run on Instagram, if that makes sense. So if you don't have an Instagram, you don't have to worry about it at this point in time. Highly recommend you get on some social media. However, if you just set up your Facebook to run ads, it'll also run on Instagram for you. The second thing that you need to know is that this needs to be a Facebook business page. So if you haven't set up a Facebook business page, that's going to be the first step of this for you. And we're not going to talk about that today, but know that if you do need help navigating around how to do that, your agent services, Lindsay and myself, can help you set up a Facebook business page. So we're going to pretend you already have the Facebook business page. And the first thing we're going to do when we come into command is come over to campaigns, which is that little bullhorn. So when you hear campaigns, I want you to think spending money for advertisements. That's campaigns. And you'll see on our dashboard here, we have a couple different options. So we're primarily focused on the paid ads. So this is kind of just the dashboard for the paid ads. This isn't really where we're going to be building those paid ads. There's a couple of videos here that'll help you understand those paid ads and how to convert leads and things like that. So whether or not you rewatch this video or know that there's also a few options of videos here that you can tap into as well to get to know how to run ads at a higher level. So we're just going to go ahead and click on Create Campaign on the top right corner here. And we're going to select our paid ad. And this is what's really going to bring us into that ad campaign dashboard. And it's going to bring you into this quick start tool. So this quick start page here has all the different ad types that you can run through command. So you'll see that we have ones that'll run on Facebook and Instagram, and we also have Google ads as well. We're not going to really get into Google ads. Just know with Google ads that you're paying for a monthly subscription. And that's what, like when somebody searches, real estate in Wauwatosa, you might come up towards the top of that search in Google. So that's what a Google ad is. And it's a monthly subscription. It's definitely the long game. However, I have heard agents that get a pretty good ROI on it. So if you're interested in doing that, definitely dive into Google ads more. But we're going to focus on these Facebook, Instagram ads. So we have different options. We can just do a single image. We can do multiple images with a carousel. And we can also do some non-listing ads that are maybe more for, like, if you're holding a seminar or you just want to advertise your brand. Those would be like non-listing ads that you could do. Again, single image or video, and also a multi-image carousel are your options there. I think that the highest return on Facebook ads that you're going to get is actually going to be through advertising listings. And whether that's, I would highly recommend either a video, a short video, or a multi-image carousel. Okay, so people want to get a feel for properties, and I think just a single image is too static. It's not dynamic, and it doesn't get attention, because usually the image we choose is just the exterior of the house, and that doesn't really gain a lot of traction. However, if you're advertising the features of the property, the updated kitchen, the bright airy sunroom, the updated master bathroom, if you're promoting those features, whether it's through a video or multiple images, I think that's what's really going to start to gain attention of people online. You do have an option to do multiple listings, but here's the deal. I would just focus on one listing in one area, highlight its features, and then get the leads that way. So one of the first things that you need to do is connect your Facebook account to Command if you haven't already. You're going to find that under this Assets tab on the left-hand side, and then Facebook Pages. You can see I already have mine linked here, but if you don't know that you can add your Facebook page, and there's just a couple of questions that you have to click through to get it to link together. It's going to have you like log into Facebook, get all your permissions, make sure you're signed in. Make sure your activity's turned on. Keep continuing, just keep hitting the continue button, and then you'll be able to select your pages that you are a part of. Sorry, Lindsay, can you just, if anybody comes in, can you just manage the Google Meet for me?
Yep, I did.
Thanks. So just keep clicking on it till you get to this page, connect it to your page if you just want to use one asset, but it's also nice that you can select all of, if you have several different business pages that you manage, you can select all of them, and you can also opt in that any other future Facebook pages that you create will also be connected to your Command account. So if you, I know that there's some agents that run, you know, Lake Homes and Walworth County Facebook page. So you can always, you know, create more and keep running ads on them. Okay. This is probably going to tell me it's already connected. The next thing it's going to want to do is connect your business account. So this is your Meta business account, which should be set up when you set up your Facebook business page as well. And then I'm just granting access for Command to be able to run Facebook ads for me. Okay, once you click through all of that, it's going to go back to that campaigns dashboard. And when you click on this, it's going to have you add your Facebook page. I've already added it. So I'm just going to hit cancel now. So, but you should be able to select it and hit accept, and then it'll show that it's linked. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go back to this dashboard, and I'm going to select this listing for a multi-image carousel. This is kind of my favorite one to use, my favorite one to advertise. I think that there's a balance that you have to do with ads where you're giving enough information to get them interested, but you're not giving away the entire MLS listing, right? You're not giving away the entire description and all the photos where they don't even then need you, right? So the goal is to get them interested so that they click, so that you get their information, so that then you can provide them with value, so that then they go and buy a house with you, okay? I do want to just talk for a second about your return on investment. So Facebook ad leads convert at about a 1 to 100 rate. And usually you do have to work them for a while. So I want you to make sure that you have a good follow-up system in place when you get a lead from Facebook ads. How frequently are you going to reach out to them? I personally converted a Facebook lead and it took about 2 years. However, it was worth the $20 I spent on the ad when I got paid an $8,000 commission, right? So you have to think about how frequently you're going to run Facebook ads, and at a high enough level that you start to get a large amount of leads, so that you'll get 1 or 2 or 3 transactions over the course of time. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do, there's a little AI copywriter here, so it'll help you write the copy of your Facebook ad. The first thing we want to do is select our listings. So first we can hit please add your listings. We're going to click on that. And this is going to syndicate to the entire KWLS, which means like every single listing in the entire US and maybe even Eastern Europe. So we're going to want to filter this down, and we can actually, I believe, search by MLS ID. So my preference would be if you went to MLS first, got in here, found the listing that you want to advertise, and then make sure you know that MLS number so you can come into this. And it's okay if you don't have a listing. What's really nice is when you're in MLS and you go to the main menu here, you can look at office listings. And so my account's tied to our Lake Country Heartland office. So here are all the active listings in Lake Country, and I can advertise any of these that I wanted to. I would just maybe just give a courtesy message out to the listing agent, but most likely they're going to let you advertise it. So anything that's under contract, I might skip over just because I don't really want to have that conversation. Vacant land, maybe not, but any condo or single family house that, you know, doesn't have a buyer yet, I would definitely run an ad for it. You're also wanting something that looks good, right? So maybe not every property gets advertised. However, you definitely want something that's updated, staged nicely, has a lot of natural light. Those are what I'm looking for in properties when I run ads on them. Also, if you want to be hyper local to a specific area, you might want to look for listings that are close to you. So if you didn't want to just do office listings, obviously you could run a quick search in an area and just see which ones were listed by our KW agents, and then run an ad for them as well.
Kathleen, so it looks really like Karen had a question. Karen, do you still have a question? Okay, maybe not.
Okay. So I am going to run an ad for this Harding Avenue in Waukesha, and I'm going to do that one because I know specifically that that was a flip. So those photos should be looking pretty nice, right? And I'm just going to go check out the photos. Maybe not the exterior ones. That's a really nice kitchen update. Let's check out the bathrooms. Bathrooms are nice, right? If you want to be in a price point, so we can check out this Brookfield one. I mean, that's obviously going to show really well on a Facebook ad, right? Like, that's attractive. People want to see that. Ooh, look at that kitchen counter. There's 4 bar stools there that I can get 6. Right, so there's, you definitely want pictures that are attractive that people are going to want to click on, okay? So let's go after this North Avenue one. I'm just going to grab the MLS number here, 195-4401. I'm going to click back over to my campaign. I immediately forgot. 195-4401. And then it's this one right here. And then I can hit select. Okay, so that is now attached to that North Avenue listing. The next thing it's going to do is define my audience and the targeting. Okay, so the listing location or a custom location. I'd probably just go with the listing location, so Brookfield and then 15 miles. I think that's the minimum that you can do for a radius. You're not really going to be able to target anything more than that due to Facebook advertising requirements. So you can go more miles out, but 15 miles is probably fine. If you wanted to go a little bit farther out and do 20 miles, just know that that's probably going all the way north to like Sheboygan at that point in time. And then, so now it's the look and the feel of the ad. And there's this little copywriter here. I wonder if I can just, I'm gonna shrink that guy. He's right here, these little sprinkle stars right here. But as I adjust my ad, you're going to see in real time what that ad looks like here on this little screen to the right-hand side. Okay. So check out my new listing in Brookfield. It's pulling, these are merge tags, so it's pulling this information straight from that MLS listing. So check out my new listing in Brookfield, just listed at $689.9. I think there's a lot of debate of whether or not you include the price in an advertisement. I'm kind of in the middle. Sometimes I think, no, why would I include the price? I want them to reach out to me. I want them to want to get that information. At other times, it's like they could easily just go on Zillow and get that information. So am I just giving up a lead to a potential Zillow agent? That's kind of what you have to balance there. So I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think especially with Facebook ads, once you start running them with some frequency behind it, you can always kind of change your methodology based upon what's working and what's not working, right? So try it with the price. If you feel like you're not getting leads, try one without the price, see if it does better. Okay.
Well, and you'll notice too that she's not including the full address either. It's just new listing in Brookfield. So that's the other thing too, is that they'd have to do some more digging on Zillow anyway to find this particular listing in Brookfield, to find that price as well. So it's kind of two components, you know, just saying new listing in Brookfield, not giving out that full address, and then not giving out the price as well. Again, it's multiple pieces of information that the consumer is missing to then hopefully they do click learn more and submit that lead through your Facebook ad.
Mm-hmm. Also, just know that like this is not my listing, right? This is a different agent in our office. So I definitely don't want to say my new listing here. So be careful with what it types in for you. So I'm just going to change that. And I'm going to say, let's see. I like to use adjectives a lot in my ad copy. I think if you tell people how to feel, then they'll feel it, right? So like, you're going to love this because look how beautiful it is. And then they're going to look at it and go, man, that's beautiful. Well, because I told you it was beautiful. So you can write whatever you want. You can add emojis. Highly recommend a couple emojis here and there. Don't overdo it on the emojis. However, the algorithm does like emojis. So don't feel like you can't add them. Please add one or two. It makes it a little bit more human and interest-based. So right now, all the algorithms in social media are very interest-based, okay? So the people that are gonna see this ad are people that are interested in houses, interested in real estate, are interested in things happening in Brookfield, not necessarily the people that live in Brookfield, but maybe they go to the Brookfield's farmers market, or they like to go to the mall in Brookfield. Those are their interests, and social media has been capturing that information. So it might be somebody that just loves Barnes and Noble at Brookfield Square, and they go there like once a week to check out a new book, and like, because they tag that location, because Google has it in their maps, their geolocations on, the algorithm knows that they really, really like Brookfield. So that's the kind of person that's going to see this ad now because of Brookfield, okay? So there might be, because we know that things are interest-based, you might want to give a little context as to the location and where this is close to that might be of interest to other people. So it might be something like close to farmers local. Okay, forgive my typos. So now my algorithm is also going to pick up people that like farmers markets anywhere in my radius, people that like bookstores, people that like to shop local, people that like Brookfield, people that like real estate, people that like homes, people that like to use emojis, people that, does this make sense, right? So your ad copy in your text needs to feel like your ideal buyer in this area would be. Okay, we have to get out of the clinical. We don't want to share, you don't just want to like copy the MLS description because the MLS description is about the property. We don't care about the property. We care about the people that are looking at the property. Okay, so think about your ideal buyer for the house, and that's what your text should be in your ad. Okay. These chips are like other things that you can add in there, but we're not going to worry about that. So now multiple image. So it'll do 5 images. I highly recommend at least 4 good ones. Now, if you'll notice, we have 2 exteriors and 3 kitchens. That's not going to work for me, right? That doesn't show off enough of the property. It doesn't gain as too much attention. It's like, well, why is it only pictures of the kitchen, right? So I'm going to go and I'm going to pick 1 or 2 really great exterior. If the back looks great, I'm gonna choose like a backyard one. You know, if they've got a pool and a bunch of gardening, let's choose that. I'm going to choose the kitchen, as long as the kitchen looks really nice. I'm going to choose maybe a bedroom, living space, depending on what they look like. And then I want an updated bathroom. Okay, those are usually what I'm looking for in the photos that I can then advertise. So I personally like the brighter exterior than the dark exterior. I think it's just going to show better, especially if like somebody's phone's in dark mode. I don't really like dark pictures, right? So I'm going to hit this little edit button on this one, and I'm going to exchange this exterior photo out for something else that I like. I think this fireplace one's a showstopper, right? Like, boom, look at this fireplace, the big windows, the picture, the TV. So I'm just going to go and select this one instead and hit confirm. There we go. And then I only want 1 of these kitchen photos, and you can see like bigger ones here if you scroll on the right hand side here. So we have one that's kind of like the galley. I think this one's probably the best. I think it shows the space better, like how much you can actually fit in this kitchen, which is, I think, really is what's going to get people's attention. And then you can also see that it's like stainless steel appliances. So I'm going to keep the one with the stools, and I'm going to swap out the other 2 images here. So I'm just going to edit image 3. So we have exterior, we have kitchen covered. We're looking for light, bright, open, something that screams, I need to buy this house. Let's see. I think maybe another exterior one here on the back side. Maybe. I kind of like the finish. And this is, I mean, honestly, you're just kind of, you're doing what I'm doing and you're thinking, which of these are the 4 best photos I can get. I do like this other living room one, so I'm going to do that one. And then image 5, I think either a bathroom if we like the bathrooms. If we don't like the bathrooms, maybe another exterior or a different living space. I like the fact of like this finished basement. I just think this looks really bland in a picture. It's very white on white, not really a lot of furniture. It looks big. I just don't know how it's going to show in an ad. So I'm just going to grab this other exterior photo here. Okay. So now here's the photos that are on my carousel. I have this stately fireplace. I have this beautiful exterior. Look how large this is. I have this great kitchen. Look how big and open and light and bright it is. Look at this huge living room. Look at all these windows at the top, man. Oh, I could totally see my Christmas tree in the corner over here. And then look at this garage, nice and spacious driveway. Oh, there's a little extra space right here if I have a guest over. I love that. What more could I possibly want out of this property? So then where are we sending folks once they click on this ad? Okay, so they're like, man, this property looks great. I want more information. Well, where are you going to send them? Okay, you have a couple of options here. You can just give them a URL. You can make a landing page or create a landing page. I would personally send them to my own website. And that way, anything that they do on that website, it's tied to me. If they click connect with agent, it's me. They're already coming into my command account. So if they create an account on their website, it'll be linked together, and then I can see anything and everything they click on. If they schedule a showing on the website, that comes to me. So there's a lot of advantages to just getting them onto your website. We're not going to get into a whole lot about managing your websites, but you can create custom landing pages on there. I think that's a lot of time to put into it. I think simply what you can do is just come to your website. So this is my KW website. It's Kathleen Wooten. My name and face are all over it, right? And I'm going to search for this property that I'm running the ad for. Okay, so it was 21965. 21965 West North Avenue. Okay, now I see how there's like two different ones here. The one with the blue dot, see this little blue dot? That means that's the active listing, and the other one's not active. So always make sure you're choosing the one with the blue dot. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to bring me to this property page. Here's our house. Here's the details, yada, yada. They can click through all the photos now. It's all branded to me. They can contact me. They can request a tour. This is my website now. So all I need to do is up here at the top of my screen, I have the URL for this page. Simply going to click on it and copy. So either Control-C, Command-C, right-click copy, however you're used to copying. Going back to Command, and I'm going to paste it right here. Pro tip, delete this out and then paste. So now what this says is when they click on my ad and they click learn more, they're going to have to fill out a contact form that gives me all their details. So that contact form goes into my command as a lead. And then once they fill out that contact form, then they get the right to go to my branded website and see more information about the property. So then a couple other things that you can do. This is optional here, but when these leads come in from Facebook, do you want an automatic tag to be put on here? You can create a tag, or if you already have one, you can create one. So maybe you do want a tag that says Facebook ad. So I just typed in Facebook ad. I'm going to create as a new tag. Okay. And then if you have a good follow-up plan in place already, if you know Smart Plan that you want to go ahead and automatically assign this lead to, you can choose that as well. So it might be worth your while to just go ahead and maybe think about either find a smart plan that somebody's already built for Facebook lead ads, or Facebook ad leads, or you can build one yourself that has a regular schedule of emails, text, and calls. And then you can just automatically add them to that smart plan. Just again, with any smart plan, especially with leads, once they answer and you start having conversations with them, you might want to remove them from the smart plan. Okay, so that doesn't keep going, hey, are you still interested? Even though you're having a conversation with them. Okay. So if you have a smart plan already in your smart plan library, you're going to be able to choose it here as well. And then the last thing is your business logo. So you can see here on the ad, there's a little KW Keller Williams Lake Country logo on the bottom of the ad. That way you stay in compliance with our WRA requirements and NAR requirements that you have to have your brokerage information readily apparent. You can just leave that at custom, and then it'll add in that business logo for you. Any questions so far on this page? So then our last thing to do, we're going to go to the next step, and it's going to ask us the frequency of this ad and how much money we want to spend. Okay. So it might take up to 24 hours for the ad to go live. So you can definitely schedule a start date for tomorrow. And then how long do you want to go? Honestly, it's going to default to 5 days, and I would leave it at 5 days. It's also going to budget $10 a day, which this says $833, right? Because it's really like probably 4 days. And it'll tell you about how many leads you think you're going to get based upon this. So they estimate about $5 a lead is what you're going to spend. I think that really depends on how much you really have tested these ads. It depends on the market of the moment. Right now, Facebook ads might start to get you more leads just because we're in the hot spring market than they would maybe in the fall. It really depends on what you write in here in the algorithm and how it's matching people with similar interests. So there's a lot that goes into how many leads you might get. If you want to start small, I think you can easily do $20. You know, and if you get 5 leads from $20, that's $4 a lead. That's really good. Now it's just converting those leads and having conversations and working them into clients. So again, on average, Facebook leads convert at a 1 to 100 rate, meaning you need 100 leads to get 1 to the close. So is 5 leads enough to get you there? You're gonna have to run, 20 ads to get there. Or do you want to just increase this budget, start getting a few more leads? But I would start small. I would test what works, what doesn't work. If you don't get any leads on an ad, then you know that you need to change something in how you set it up. I think, and this also is like estimate of the national averages for leads. I think we actually do pretty well here in Southeast Wisconsin on Facebook ads and getting an ROI on those leads. Then you enter in your credit card and hit purchase. Once those leads start to get in, they're going to enter in multiple ways. First, you're going to be able to see your leads here. I'm just going to save this as a draft. I don't want to lose all my work. You're going to be able to see them here on this dashboard once leads start coming in. Also in Command, you're going to get a push notification, and you're going to be able to see that notification in that notification bell as well on your home screen in Command or in your Command app. Also on your home screen of Command, you're going to see leads never contacted. So that means somebody came in as a lead and then you haven't done a reach out. So they're going to show there. And then also you're going to see recent leads on your home screen and they're going to show there. So there's literally like 4 or 5 different ways that you're going to get notified that a lead came in off your Facebook ad. Okay. If you feel, man, I'm not getting any leads in Command, but I feel like, I should be, Another thing you can double check to make sure leads are syncing into command is from Facebook. If you come into your Meta Business Suite, there's also a lead center. So all your leads are going to flow into there as well. And in this lead center, you'll be able to download a CSV of your leads if they're not flowing into command properly. I'm not going to lie, I don't run Meta, and sometimes the Meta to command link can break. So if you feel like you're running an ad, but you haven't seen a lead come in and it's been like a day or two, I would definitely come in here to see if you actually did receive any leads. It's just a good checks and balance, making sure that you're getting it. So it doesn't hurt to just come in here and double check that those leads are flowing. Okay. But for a $20 ad, I would expect for you to see somewhere around 7 leads if you're running that multi-image carousel, new listing, great pictures ad. Okay. And I know it's a lot. So what questions does everybody have?
We have a question in Tosa here. One second.
Can I just say it and she'll hear
Yeah.
me? Okay. So if you're not running an ad for a listing, for example, maybe you're running something for first-time home buyers, can you still designate that target location?
So Kathleen,
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, any ad that you run through Facebook will have the location. You might just have to enter in a custom location. It's not going to pull automatically from like a listing. So we can just do this, the non-listing image here.
Yeah, I think you have the option.
It gives you, yeah, right here. So it gives you a code.
If you don't run this through, if you just run it through Facebook and not through command, you don't have that option, correct?
I think you have the option if you're just running it through Meta.
I did, and
No.
and maybe I just missed that part, but yeah, it's a waste of time because I'm getting people from Oregon and
Okay.
it's awful.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't run a ad directly through Meta recently. I feel like if you do it directly through Meta, you should be able to choose the location. So I don't know if maybe that
Could
was
just be me, but I'll certainly do it
Yeah.
this way anyway.
But yeah, any ads that you run through command, you will be able to choose the location. If it's not based, even if it's a listing ad, I believe you can still choose a custom location.
Okay.
I don't have my like ad manager really set up well to run ads through Meta, but yeah, you should be able to at least choose a radius, I believe, but I'm not sure. I would have to like sit and look with you.
I don't, you know,
But at least here through command, it does on a non-listing ad, it does allow you to put in a zip code and then a radius around that. And you can do up to 10 locations.
Yeah, because I know that there's been instances where you may have a luxury listing or like a lake home in Wisconsin, but you want to target like the Chicagoland area or other nearby cities like that. So I know a lot of people have done that in the past too. So that's an option. It doesn't necessarily need to pull directly from the location of the listing. It can be a separate area.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then delayed listings. So you can run Facebook ads if the property's in delayed. So it needs to still be searchable in the MLS, right? That's our one rule. It just is not going to sync. So you're going to have to do the non-listing and you're going to have to manually like upload the photos that you want from that MLS listing. So when you're looking at delayed listings, if there's only one photo, then you might just have to do the one photo and run an ad like that. You're not going to be able to do a video because you can't get into the property because it's a delayed. So you're going to have to kind of manage how you run an ad on delayed listing. Just know that you are allowed to do ads on delayed listings. It's just going to be maybe a little bit more work to get the photos and the content for you to plug it into here. Okay.
Cool.
Any other questions?
Thanks, Kathleen. And obviously
Yeah.
there's other options too in terms of running ads. But like Kathleen said, the listing ad usually tends to get more leads just because people want to click on listings and view all the photos and the details and know what the price is and where exactly is this located. The other idea that I've kind of thrown out in past trainings too is to do a listing search on your website. For example, homes under 500,000 in Wauwatosa. You can take a screenshot sort of that map or kind of get creative in terms of what images you're sharing in order to run that ad, or maybe it is a short form video of just like the Wauwatosa area. But then just highlighting, you know, hey, there's 15 homes for sale under 400,000 currently in Wauwatosa. Click the link to learn more or to see these homes. So those are just some other examples of really how you can utilize your agent site through command and get a little bit more clicks with just a more general search of what's for sale as well in a particular area.
Also, on that note, you can also do, I think, recent price drops.
Yep.
Yeah, so right here, so very, very bottom, and I'll just talk through how I got here. So I went to my home screen of my website. This is my website again. I typed in just Brookfield, Wisconsin. It brought me to all the listings in Brookfield. I clicked on filters, and at the very bottom of the filter list, there's this price reduced toggle. So you can click on that. Now there's only 4, right? So now when I can use this URL at the very top here, and anytime somebody clicks on this URL, it's going to come to Brookfield, Wisconsin with recent price drops. Now, how cool of an ad would that be to say, hey, you don't have to pay full price. Here's homes in Brookfield that have had recent price drops. Let me know if you want to go take a look. And when they click on it, it comes to this page, which is my website. And if they're like, oh my gosh, a 4-bedroom for only $620, and they click on it, again, they're still on my website. Everything is branded to me. All the communication comes to me. Cool. So there are a lot of creative things that you can do as well. And thanks, Lindsay, for reminding me of that.
Yeah, you saw that open house toggle, so you can share just open houses in Brookfield.
And it doesn't have to be just KW listings.
Nope, it's not just KW listings. This is your agent sites are a full IDX. So every single listing that is in the Metro MLS will feed in here along with all the MLSs across the country. So you don't have to worry about that. Everything is compliant. Everything is branded with who the listing agent is. But yet, again, like Kathleen said, it's your website. So the website is branded to you. It's going to state who the listing agent is, but in small letters. So. Yeah, lots of different ways to run it. Well, thanks, Kathleen, for showing us all this.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for joining me. And let me know if you guys have any questions about running these ads. Anything I can do, let me know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye.